Dear learners and listeners, this is a short video clip and introduction to phonetics. Now, you have seen a lot of videos about phonetics, and mine is one among them, I could say, because there is nothing new about phonetics. All I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify what it is in my own way. That is all the difference. The subject remains the same. Now, before talking about what is phonetics, we must understand what is language. Language, I read what is there in your screen, is a set or system of sounds and signs or symbols with meanings that are used in communication through speech or in writing. Do you understand what I have read? Language is a tool for communication, right? If at all I want to convey an idea, a message to my friend or to anyone, I use language as a human being, right? And many other animals, they too use language, right? Dogs bark, a lion roars, a peacock, what does it do? Shrieks, all right? So they want languages, right? Now, as human beings, we use language, and when I say language is a set or system, right, I mean that human language has its own formation, its own algorithm, right? We have an arrangement either of sounds or of alphabets, right? So that they give you meaning. Right? So that is what I meant by language is a system of sounds and signs or symbols. Sounds is what we speak. Now I am speaking with you and you can listen to me. Right? And how about written communication? The words we write are kinds of signs or symbols. Now why do you call that a symbol? Is that words do not have any kind of a relationship with what they mean, the object they mean. For example, let me take a word called key, K-E-Y. Key, have you ever asked a question? Now, how is this word key related with that object, right? Something that we insert inside a door. Right? Is there any relation at all between these two words? No. Maybe a crow caws, C-A-W, caw. Right? That's the sound of a crow. So there is some relation. Cawing, a crow caws. But how about the word key? There is no relation. You cannot relate the word key with the object. Right? So that's why I say that language is a set or system of sounds, and the written part of it, written words, are called as signs or symbols because they are arbitrary or kind of abstract in nature and not related with the object directly, right? And it has some meaning to be conveyed, and language, it either uses speech or writing. So this could be a definition for language. Now, the next term I would like to introduce to you is linguistics. Now, what is linguistics? Linguistics is defined as a study, a scientific study of language. Now, what is this scientific study? Have you ever studied a language? Languages are meant for communication for functional purposes. But when you give a scientific shade to language, it becomes linguistics. Now, what is this scientific study? Right? In my second line, I have said a linguist observes language and he describes it. Now, who is a linguist? Someone or an expert in language study could be called as a linguist, or a student of linguistics could be called a linguist. Now, since you're learning phonetics, right, you could be called a linguist. Now, what do you do? What does linguists do? They observe a language and they describe it. Now, what is this observation? Right? They listen to language, right? They read language and they try to understand the intricacies or the nuances of language. Maybe I'm speaking now, if you had listened to me, right, you could say like that I'm speaking too fast, or you could say I'm speaking too slow, or you could say you don't understand my intonation or my accent, or you could even say that I'm speaking bad English. Right? This is called observation, and you will have your own reasons. Right? How different is my accent? What is wrong with my intonation? Right? Or why do I speak bad English? Is my pronunciation wrong? All right. So you observe with a set of rules in your mind, and you try to test me with all those rules, and you identify where I go wrong. So this is a scientific study of linguistics. All right. And you also sometimes try to describe a language. Description, right? I could say one good example as maybe dialects or varieties. Since we are talking about English, I can say that there are a variety of English. Right? Maybe for example, the British English and the American English. Right? British, they say Z. The American English, they say Z. All right, this is a different pronunciation. Now they should try to describe why is there this difference at all. Why do English people call it as Z, and the other hand why Americans call it as Z? All right, so such differentiation or such kind of difference, right, or such kind of a study or an observation or a description of any language, right, be it English or Tamil or Hindi or Malayalam or Telugu or French, whatever language that you come across, if you give it a scientific flavor or a perception, that is called as linguistics. Yeah, at last in this slide we have come to a topic. Now, what is phonetics? Right, it's pronounced as phonetics. Right. Now, phonetics is a branch of linguistics. It is defined as a scientific study of speech sounds or sound units. Now, you must know like why am I talking about language? Why did I talk about linguistics? Because phonetics is a part of linguistics, right? Linguistics, it talks about language on the whole, and phonetics is a part which describes or which talks only about the speech sounds or the sound units, right? What is a speech sound or sound unit? Maybe when I make a sound, maybe when somebody is pinching me or I'm getting injected or vaccinated, right? I might sound right? Now this sound is a sound unit, right? Maybe you can always have a study of the sound unit. When do I say that? When somebody is piercing me with a needle, right? When somebody has pinched me, right? So all these are sound units, and a detailed study, right, of such sound units is called as phonetics. Now on the screen there is an example, an attempt by me to further define or to further make you understand what is phonetics. Now for example, let us take a word called cycle, C-Y-C-L-E. Now there are two C's in this word, right? It starts with a C, and in the middle it has a C. That's a 5-letter word, and it begins with a C, and in the third letter it once again has the C. Now I read it. There are two C's in this word, and are the two C's pronounced as C or in the same way? Right? And the answer is no. Right? The first C is pronounced as S, cycle, S, and the second C is pronounced as ick, cycle, ick. Now, why is there this difference? Right? Why is there the difference between the two C's? It's actually both are C's, right? But we never pronounce it as C, right? Yet we have two different kinds of pronunciation. Now, why does it happen so? Right? So this is a good example for a scientific study of sound unit. Now, there is one alphabet, two different sounds created by the same alphabet. Now, have you ever observed these two differences? right? The answer to your question, the answer to my question, have you ever observed these two differences earlier, right? So maybe you may ask, why do we pronounce it so, right? Or you could exclaim, yeah, why didn't I notice this until today, right? If you are giving any such reaction or response, right, then you are said to be fit to be or a good phonetics student, right? You have started to think about different sound units. Now, since we have started to know something about phonetics, something about sound units, and something that there are several different kinds of sound units, even when the alphabet is the same, I would like to add upon a few more questions to you. Now, I would like to ask, how do you speak? And my second question on the slide is that what parts of your body or physique are used when you speak? All right, this is very important study, a scientific study in learning about sound units or phonetics. To start with, we should not go straight away into the pronunciation part, yet we must know, right, the organs of speech. Organs of speech are the organs that we unknowingly or unconsciously or subconsciously or consciously make use of when we utter, right, speech, when we utter sounds or words, right? So next PowerPoint or next video would be on the organs of speech and their role in creating or in producing speech sounds. Thanks for listening to this introduction part. Thank you.